Hello everyone. Welcome to another lecture on reasoning ability and problem solving. In today's lecture, we will continue with discussing the types of questions that can come into your competitive exams from problem solving and analysis. So, in the last lecture, we discussed that there are four types of problems that can be formed in this topic, that is problem solving and analysis. What do you mean by problem solving and analysis? Basically, it means that you identify or you analyze certain patterns or logics in order to find the solution to a problem. This is what you mean by problem solving and analysis. Now we discussed the four types. Type 1 was logical reasoning and type 2 was mathematical and quantitative reasoning. This we discussed in detail. So in logical reasoning, we discussed statement, assumption, conclusion, inference. We discussed what is the difference between assumption, conclusion, and inference. Then we also studied syllogisms. We use Venn diagrams to solve questions on syllogisms, correct? Then we studied analogies. Analogies, we have a separate chapter for it as well. Coding, decoding, and blood relations. Blood relations, we understood how to draw the chart and everything. Type 2, mathematical and quantitative reasoning, in which we studied number series and sequence and mathematical operations. So this is what we discussed in the last class. In today's class, we will continue by discussing type 3 and type 4. Type 3 is analytical puzzles. Analytical puzzles, there are two types of questions that can be formed: seating arrangements and logical grids. Then we have a type 4, which is non-verbal reasoning. Non-verbal reasoning basically means we have to deal with pictures and figures. So this is what you mean by non-verbal reasoning. So in this, we will study series completion and image rotation and mirror images. So let us start with type 3, that is analytical puzzles. So type 3, first subtype is seating arrangements. Now, in seating arrangements, basically you can get four type of questions. I will number them. Number 1 is linear seating arrangement. Then you can get circular seating arrangement. Okay. Then you can get square or rectangle or triangle seating arrangement. This is more common. Sometimes if it is a question of an extremely difficult level, then you can get a pentagon. Do you remember pentagon? We talked about 5 sides that figure pentagon, or a hexagon. Hexagon is 6 sides. This is a pentagon and this is a hexagon. So you can get these two types also, pentagon and hexagon. So, but these are the common ones. Square, rectangle, and triangle are very common. And the fourth type that you can get is parallel rows seating arrangement. So now let me explain it to you in a little detail. We'll come to this question in a while, but let us first understand the basics. So basic, let us start with the first one, that is linear. Okay. So linear seating arrangement. This is the first type that we are discussing. What do you mean by linear seating arrangement? Linear seating arrangement basically means that everybody is sitting in a row, in one row. This is linear seating arrangement. So if I have 3 people, let's say A, B and C, and they're sitting like this in one row, this is called linear seating arrangement. Now there are two possibilities in linear seating arrangement, or 3 possibilities you can say. First is that everybody is facing north, okay? The second possibility is that everybody is facing south. And the third possibility is that some people are facing north and some people are facing south. So the first possibility that I'm saying is, let's say A, B and C are all facing north. So if you remember directions and topic, we did following directions. In that we discussed a small chart of directions. I'll use this space, okay? This was north, this was south, this was west, east, and then this was northeast, this was southeast, this was southwest, and this was northwest. Correct? Something like this. This we discussed in following directions. So now you can get a possibility that everybody is facing north, or second possibility that everybody is facing south, or you could get a possibility that let's say A and C are facing north and B is facing south. So either of the three possible questions you can get. Okay, this is linear seating arrangement. Now the second one is circular seating arrangement. Okay, circular seating arrangement. Now, circular seating arrangement, as the name suggests, everybody is sitting in a circle. So let's say 4 people are sitting in a circle. A, B, C and D. Now, whenever we solve questions on seating arrangement, we always assume that everybody is sitting at equidistant. That means A, let's say if A is sitting 2 meter towards the left of B, then B will also sit towards the 2 meter left of C. So this distance we consider to be equidistant. This we consider in all times, otherwise it is mentioned in the question. So if in the question it states that the distance is different, only then we assume that the distance is different. Otherwise we consider that they are sitting equidistant from each other. Now A, B, C and D. Correct? This is seating circular arrangement. Now in this also you can get two possibilities or three possibilities, that everybody is facing inwards, everybody is facing outwards, or some people are facing inwards and some people are facing outward. So what do you mean by this? Inward means that A is facing this side, B is also facing this side, C is also facing this side and D is also facing this side. This is what you mean by inward facing. Similarly, outward facing means that A is facing this side, B is facing this side, C is facing this side. Similarly, D is also facing outwards, outside. This is the center. They're not facing the center, but they are facing away from the center towards the outer side. Okay, then you can also get a question that some people are facing inwards. Let's say A and C are facing inwards and D and B are facing outwards. So this type of question you can also get. This is circular seating arrangement. Very similar to this, we have the other one, that is square or rectangle or triangle seating arrangement. Now in this, let us take all the possibilities together. Okay, you can get triangle like this. So one possibility is that let's say there are 8 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Similarly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 6 people over here. The possibility is that everybody is facing inwards, everybody is facing outwards, or some people are facing inwards, some people are facing outwards. Now specifically for these shape, there is another possibility that either people are sitting in corner or people are sitting on the edge, or you can call it edge, or called also side. So in the question it can be written that A is sitting at the corner, so A will be over here. These are the 4 corners of this shape. Similarly for rectangle, these are the 4 corners. Similarly for triangle, these are the 3 corners. So either people will be sitting at the corner or people will be sitting at the edge or the side. This will be mentioned in your question. So this thing is specifically for your square, rectangle, triangle seating arrangement. And these three things are always there. Okay. Now, let us see the last one. The last possibility is parallel rows seating arrangement. Parallel rows seating arrangement. As the name suggests, people will be sitting in parallel. So let's say A, B, C are sitting over here, and D, E, F are sitting over here. In this also you get 3 possibilities. The first is facing same side, or 4 possibility. First is facing same side, that A is facing, let's say, north, B is also facing north, C is also facing north. Similarly, D is facing north, E is facing north, and F is facing north. So this is facing the same side, facing the same direction, I can say. Facing same direction. Okay. Then the second possibility is facing each other, right? I can, if D, E, F are facing towards the north, A, B and C will be facing towards the south. So they are facing each other. These are the two rows, row 1 and row 2, and they are facing each other. So this is second possibility. The third possibility is facing away from each other. Away means that if A, B and C are facing north, then D, E and F will be facing south. So this is another possibility, that they are facing away from each other. Then the last possibility, this will increase the difficulty level of the question, that everyone is facing different sides. That means, let's say A is facing south, this is facing north, this is facing south. Similarly, this is facing north, this is south. So any direction anyone can face. So these type of questions are tricky questions or difficult questions. Okay, but these three are comparatively easier to solve. That is, if they are facing same direction, if they are facing each other, or if they are facing away from each other. Okay, clear? So these are the 4 types of questions that can come in your seating arrangement. The basics are clear. Now let us look at the question. So question is seating arrangement. 8 people are sitting around a circular table facing towards the center of the table. So given to us that 8 people. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and everybody is facing towards the center. Clear? Now, M sits second to the left of N. So let's say if N is sitting over here, M will sit second to the left. So this direction will be right of N, correct? And this direction would be left of N, because he is facing towards the center. This is the direction of N. So this will be right, this will be left. Just imagine yourself in the position of N. Okay? Imagine that you are in the position of N. So this will be your right, this will be your left. M is sitting second to the left of N. So second to the left will be over here. Only 2 people sit between M and T. So 2 people. T can be, now 2 positions are, T can be here, 2, 1 and 2 people sit between M and T. Or let me draw another diagram over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, so N is over here, M is over here, and 2 people sit between M and T. So either this or this. Two possibilities. So whenever you solve questions in your exam also, consider all the possibilities. Okay, only 2 people sit between M and T. Now, S sits third to the right of T. Third to the right. So right, 1, 2, 3. Third to the right, S will sit over here. Okay. Similarly, third to the right, 1, 2, 3, S will sit over here. Is it possible? No, because M is already sitting over here. So this diagram is not possible. So let us continue solving in this diagram. S sits third to the right of T. Now let us look at type 3 analytical puzzles 3.1 seating arrangements. So in seating arrangements, you basically get 4 type of questions. That is linear seating arrangement. Second is your circular seating arrangement. Then you can have your square or rectangle or your triangle seating arrangements. And lastly, you can have your parallel lines seating arrangement or parallel rows seating arrangement. So these are the 4 types of problems that you can get in your seating arrangement. So we will discuss all these 4 types one by one. Now, starting with linear seating arrangement. So linear seating arrangement. So linear seating arrangement basically means that let's say we have 3 people, A, B and C and D, 4 people, and they are sitting right next to each other. That means they are sitting in a row. So this means that they are sitting in a linear line. So this is linear seating arrangement when everybody sits in only one particular row. Now, there can be 3 possibilities in linear seating arrangement. The first one is everybody is facing north. Now, if you remember in following directions, I told you this chart. North, south, east and west. Correct? Then we further also discussed northeast, southwest and southeast and northwest. Correct? So this chart we discussed in following directions. Now, so the first possibility is that everybody is facing north. So A is also facing north, B is also facing north, C is also facing north and D is also facing north. The second possibility is that everybody is facing south. So south means that each of them faces the south direction. Okay? And the third possibility is that some people are facing north while some people are facing south. So if that is the possibility, let's say maybe A and B face north and C and D face south, or maybe A face north, B face south and D face north, something like this. So each of them can have a different direction. This type of question can be a little tricky or difficult. So this takes a little bit more time comparatively to these 2 types to solve, because this you can see we have to keep in mind the directions of each individual person. So this is linear seating arrangement. Now, one more thing. Whenever we talk about seating arrangements, we always assume that everybody is sitting equidistant from each other until and unless it is specified in the question. What do you mean by that? So maybe the distance between A and B is 2 meter. So the distance between B and C will also be 2 meter. And the distance between C and D will also be 2 meter. So this is what we assume. If it is mentioned in the question, then we change it. Otherwise, we assume that everybody is sitting at an equidistant, at an equal distance. Okay. Now, the second type is your circular distance or circular seating arrangement. Circular seating arrangement. This is your second type, circular seating arrangement. As the name suggests, everybody will be sitting in a circle. So maybe A, B, C, D. Everybody sits in a circle. Now in this also you can get certain types. The first type is that everybody faces inwards. What do you mean by inwards? This is, let's say, the center of the circle. If this is the center, everybody will be facing towards the center. This is the inward sign. So everybody is facing inwards. This is your first possibility. The second possibility is that everybody is facing outwards. That means away from the center. So if everyone faces this direction to outwards, not towards the center but outwards, this is the outward direction. This is the second possibility. The third possibility is some people are facing towards inwards and some people are facing away from the center. So let's say maybe D is facing in, A is facing out, B is facing out and C is facing inwards. So certain possibility like this. So 3 possibilities again you can get in your circular seating arrangement. Now again, this type of question where some people are facing in and some people facing out, this takes comparatively more time to solve than these 2 cases. Okay. The third type is your square or rectangle or your triangle seating arrangement. In this type you can get even pentagon. If you remember, Pentagon means something that has 5 sides, and hexagon is something that has 6 sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So this is your hexagon, and pentagon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. So this is your pentagon. Okay. So this type of question you get in square, rectangle, triangle type of seating arrangement. Now, one thing you have to remember in this type of questions, let us take each and everything side by side. So this is my square, rectangle, and my triangle. One thing will be same, that some people will be facing inwards, correct? So somebody is sitting here, they're facing inwards, let's say. Some people can be facing outwards. Second possibility, same. So let's say people are facing outwards. Okay. And third possibility is that some people are facing inwards while some people are facing outwards. You have a whole another chapter on seating arrangement. So in that chapter, we will discuss it in much more depth. But over here, this is to give you a brief idea. So in some people are facing, let's say, inwards, and some people are facing outwards. This will be always will be the center of the table or the seating arrangement, you can say. Correct? Now there are two more things that is added in these type of seating arrangement. The first thing is that people will sit on corners, and the second thing is that some people will sit on edges or sides. What do you mean by that? So let us discuss each of these shape individually. Okay. So if someone sits at the corner of a table, that means they are sitting over here. These are your corners of the table. They can be sitting over here. Okay, these are your corners. So first concept is some people will be sitting at the corners. It will be given in the question. And some people will be sitting on the edges or the sides. So most question, one people will be sitting on your edge or your side. So this will be your edge, right? This is your side, your edge. So one people will be sitting over here. In some questions, one person is sitting at the corner and two people are sitting on the edge. This type of question also you get. So this type of question can be a little tricky because this takes usually more time to solve compared to the other two cases. So all these type of permutations and combination is possible for your square, rectangle or triangular seating arrangement. Then you have last type, that is parallel rows seating arrangement. What do you mean by that? Let us understand. So let us say we have A, B, C, 3 people sitting over here, and D, E, F, 3 people sitting over here. Okay? Now, one possibility is that they are facing the same direction. Facing same direction. What do you mean by that? So if A is facing north, B is facing north, C is facing north, then D, E, F will also face north. Everybody who is sitting, this is row 1. And parallel to this, we have row 2. So everybody in row 1 and everybody in row 2 are facing the same direction. This is your first possibility. Second possibility is they are facing each other. So let's say if D, E, F are facing towards the north, then A, B, C will face towards the south. Correct? So they are facing each other. This is your second possibility. The third possibility is that facing away from each other. So if A, B and C are facing north, that means D, E, F will be facing south. So this is your facing away possibility. Then there is a possibility that they are facing individual directions. What do you mean by individual directions? It means that if A is facing north, B is facing south, C is facing north, similarly F can be facing this side, D can be facing this side, or D can be facing any side is possible. So these type of questions are tricky. Okay, these take a little more time to solve as compared to first three cases. So these are the type of questions you can get in your parallel rows. Parallel rows, usually there are 2 rows, but in some questions you can also get 3 rows. These are also called double lineups or triple lineups. This is another name that we use for parallel row seating arrangement. Okay, so let us understand this with the help of a question. So this question is of circular seating arrangement. 8 people are sitting around a circular table facing towards the center of the table. So this is already given to us. So 8 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. They are facing in a circular and everybody is facing towards the center. This is given in the question. Okay. Now, M sits second to the left of N. So let's say N is sitting over here. M will sit second to the left. This direction will be the right of N and this will be the left of N. How come? Just consider yourself to be in the position of N. Let's say if I am N, then this direction will be my right and this direction will be my left. Correct? So, we know in the question it is given that M is sitting second to the left. So 1 and 2. So M will be over here. Now, only 2 people sit between M and T. So 2 positions between M and T. So let's say 1 and 2 position, we'll get T over here. But T can also come here, right? 1 and 2 position, T can also come here. So for this, let us take a second possibility. Whenever you get more than one possibility in an exam, draw a different diagram because it avoids confusion. So this is a possibility 1 and possibility 2. Now, S sits third to the right of T. So T is over here, right will be in this direction. So 1, 2, 3, S will sit over here in possibility 1. Over here, T is over here, S has to sit third to the right. So 1, 2, 3, S will sit over here. Is this possible? No, because M is already fixed in this position. So we will continue with diagram number 1. Q sits immediate left of S. So S is over here, immediate left will be over here. So Q will sit over here. P sits second to the left of O. Now let us hold this information. Okay, and R sits third to the right of O. So I can see this is an empty position, this is an empty position and this is an empty position. Now, P sits second to the left of O. So if O is in this position, P will be over here, second to the left. Correct? Now, R sits third to the right of O. So if O is over here, R will come over here, third to the right, 1, 2 and 3. Correct? So this will be my final diagram. This is my final seating chart. Now we have to find out who among the following sits second to the left of T. So T is over here, second to the left will be this position and at this position O sits. So option number 1, O will be the correct answer. So this is the chart and this is how you solve questions on seating arrangement. Now the next type is your logical grids. Okay. So in logical grids, 3 type of questions can come. You can get a 3 into 3 grid, a 4 into 4 grid or a 4 into 3 grid. What do you mean by that? This is a 3 into 3 grid. 3 into 3 grids means 3 columns and 3 rows. Similarly, a 4 into 4 grid will have 4 columns and 4 rows. And a 4 into 3 grid can either have like this. So 1, 2, 3. So this has 3 columns and 4 rows. Or you can get something like this, that is 4 columns and 3 rows. So this is also possible. So either of these 3 possibilities are there when it comes to logical grids. You can get a question from any of these types. Now, how to solve questions on logical grids? So logical grids basically have these numbers. So let's say we have something like this. Okay, I'm drawing a 3 into 3 logical grid and I'll explain it to you. So we have something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 and 6, 2, 8. We have something like this. Now when I look at these numbers, I can see that these numbers are slightly bigger than these two numbers, right? If you look at this column, then this is comparatively bigger. So if I add first two numbers, I can get the third number. 1 plus 2 will give me 3. 4 plus 5 will give me 9. 6 plus 2 will give me 8. Something like this. Correct? This is your logical grid. Now, if I say you have something like this, 3, 2, 6 or 3, 6, 2, 4, 20 and 5 and 6, 7 and 42. Now, when I look at this, I can see this looks a little bigger. From 3 and 2 for 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, this looks a little bigger. So 3 into 2 will give me 6. Similarly, 4 into 5 will give me 20 and 6 into 7 will give me 42. So this is how the pattern is in this particular logic grid. So this is how you solve question on logic grid. Maybe something is happening over here in these columns and we have to find the missing number. So this is how you solve questions on logic grid. Let us see that it is a 4 into 4 grid. Something like 4, 8, 2 and 14, 1, 2, 3 and 6 and 7, 8 or let's say 7, 2 and 5 and 14. So this is a 4 into 4 grid. So here I can see that 4 plus 8 plus 2 will give me 14. Correct? 1 plus 2 plus 3 will give me 6. Similarly, 7 plus 2 plus 5 will give me 14. Correct? So in your logical grids, either operations can be done in this form or operations can be done in this form also. So either of the two cases are possible in your logical grids. Now, let us look at this question. A logical grid is given to us and we have to find the solution. Now, 6, 21, 14, 40, 500 and this and 8 into 25 and 7. Okay, we have to find this missing term. Over here, if I look at the first column, 6, 40 and 8, I can see that 6 into 8 gives me 48 and minus 8 gives me 40. Right? Now let us look at the second column. So 21 into 25 will give me 525 because 25 into 20 will give me 500 plus 21 into 1, that is 525, minus 25 will give me 500. So this logic follows for both first column and second column, right? So let us do it for second column. So 14 into 7. 14 into 7 will give me 98. And if I subtract 7 from it, I'll get 91. Is 91 an option? Yes. Option number 2 is 91. So option number 2 will be the correct answer. So this is how you solve questions on logical grid. Over here, two operations were being done, multiplication and subtraction. So two operations, multiplication and subtraction. Okay? Now, next type number 4 is non-verbal reasoning. Non-verbal reasoning means that we are dealing with pictures or images. Correct? This is what we mean by non-verbal reasoning. Over here, we have a question on series completion. Series completion means three figures are given to us and we have to find what will be the fourth figure. So whenever you get a question on series completion in non-verbal reasoning, we have to treat each element differently. So we have three elements, basically 1, 2 and 3. And we have to look at how each element is behaving. So let us look at element number 1, that is this triangle. So here I can see this is a empty triangle. This is a empty diagonal, or sorry, you can call it diamond. Empty diamond. Then it moved one position up like this and it filled up. Then it moved like this over here and it became empty again. So first it went like this, then it went like this. So it will eventually come at this position, and it was empty, then filled, then empty. So over here it will come and it will be filled. So this is element number 1. The second element is this circle. Now the circle also, first it is filled. This was moving in which direction? This was moving in your clockwise direction. Now let us look at the circle. Circle went from this position to this position and it emptied. Then from here to here it went. This is the direction. So the circle went here, then it went here. So it is moving in an anti-clockwise direction. Correct? So it was filled, then empty, then filled. So now the circle will move in this direction and it will empty up. So the circle will come in this position. So this was your second element. Now the third element is this plus sign. So if you look at the plus sign, first it is here, then it moved here, then it moved here. So again it is following like this, then this. So this is again a clockwise direction. This was anti-clockwise. The diamond was moving in a anti-clockwise, diamond was moving in a clockwise direction. Correct? This was moving in an anti-clockwise direction, and this is also moving in a anti-clockwise direction. The plus is moving in a anti-clockwise direction. So plus from here to here, then eventually it will come here. So if it comes here, plus will come over here. Okay, so 3 elements, 3 different positions. So my final image will look something like this, that plus will be here, diamond will be filled and it will be here, and circle will be empty and it will be here. So this is given in option number 1. So option number 1 will be your correct answer to this question. So this is how you solve question on non-verbal reasoning series completion. Okay. The second thing is image rotation. Image rotation, basically image is being rotated very easily. Now, if again 5 images are given to us, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, whereas 4 is missing and we have to find the image for the 4th one. Now, if you look at this image, we have a hexagon. And the hexagon is also rotating and this sign is also rotating. Let us look at only one sign. Let us look at this arrow first. So the first arrow is like this, the second arrow is like this, the third arrow is like this, and then the arrow is like this. So if it is like this, then like this, then like this, so next arrow will be like this. Correct? If I draw a square, the first arrow is this, second arrow is like this, third arrow is like this, so fourth arrow has to be like this, so the fifth arrow will be like this again. So the arrow will be upwards, towards the upside. If this is my hexagon, the arrow will be over here, something like this. Then let us look at the triangle. So again I am using the square to make you understand. So the first triangle is like this, the second triangle is like this, the third triangle is like this, so the fourth triangle will be over here. Correct? So the fourth triangle will look something like this, and the fifth triangle again is back at this position over here. So my final image will look something like this, and this is given in option number 4. So option number 4 will be your correct answer to this question, that is non-verbal reasoning part 2, image rotations. So in today's class we discussed there are 2 types. In the previous class we discussed 2. In today's class we discussed 2. First was seating arrangement. This is your subtype, right? In analytical puzzles. So in analytical puzzles we discussed seating arrangement and logical grids. Correct? And then was non-verbal reasoning. In non-verbal reasoning again we discussed 2. That is your series completion and your image rotation. So these were all the types of questions that can come in problem solving and analysis in your exam. From next lecture onward, we will discuss the exercise questions and we will solve some more questions to get a clearer or a better understanding of the subject. Okay, so this concludes today's lecture. Thank you.